Chapter 5 The Welcome at the Rajasic Kingdom. The following kingdom we encountered was very different. Instead of a rusty gate, it had at its entrance an elegant door designed with several golden arches, which hanged a sign that read, "Welcome to the Rajasic Kingdom, the perfect city to live." As soon as we entered, its beauty surprised us. It had nothing to do with the thick forest that we'd left behind. It was a city built with beautiful and well-cared cobblestones, and with numerous floral decorations along all of its streets. They were very wide and pedestrian avenues where an immense sun and a lovely rainbow adorned the blue of the sky. The first inhabitants we met upon our arrival were the guards of the kingdom. They were all of great physical size and dressed in black robes and caps. Their semblance were serious and walked relentlessly on guard from one side to the other of the front door. They carried no weapons. They just held in their hands massive woven fabric nets, so sapely knitted that seemed to mimic a giant spider. We delved into the city under the cautious guidance of my father, who watched every detail he saw as usual to make sure everything was okay. I remember that something caught my attention. The bad experiences with the gigantic flowers that we'd left behind in the Tamasic kingdom made me pay attention to a huge flower that adorned the gardens and with which I suddenly made eye contact with. It wasn't a real flower, but a woman disguised as such. It seemed to be dazzled by the contact of my gaze, and I remember that this seemed something strange to me. Why was she not dazzled under the radiant sun, but was so in our step? I continued walking, and meters later I looked again discreetly towards the flower woman. She was found whispering in the ear of the guard at the entrance, while he made strange gestures to his comrades, as if to alarm. The feeling that this vision produced me made me distressed. I felt a tingling down my spine, but I decided to keep quiet for the time being. After all, it was just a feeling. I'd wait a little longer until I had more details of the new kingdom. After a short walk, we ended up at a site in the city that, although outdoors, it had large canopies that covered part of its streets. Something must be happening there, because it was crowded with citizens who were trying to advance to a stage that had been set up in the central part of the street. My father motioned for us to stop and stand on the periphery, away from all the hustle and bustle. There we set out to wait and find out what was causing the fuss. After a short waiting period, a tall and well-dressed man took the stage, accompanied by 2 guards at his sides. The ovation of the people was such that I had to place my hands over my ears to lessen the sound impact. They all shouted the same name in unison. "Maya! Maya! Maya!" It didn't take me long to realize that it was the king himself. Around him many other men, also very well dressed up, were sitting at the back of the stage to listen to the speech. The king enjoyed the praises and compliments for several minutes before starting. And immediately afterwards he took a megaphone in his hands and began with his speech. Dear citizens and subjects of mine, as you know and as I promised you, our harvests have been a success this year, and due to the seeds of this wonderful fruit that I provide. Many of you have generated countless riches which have made our city enjoy great architectural beauty, and that many of you who previously didn't have anything now form active part of this important project. The luckiest rejoice in a privileged place in my palace, and truthfully I tell you that this is just the beginning. Only I have been able to provide everything, something that I feel proud, and I encourage you to work relentlessly so that our riches increase more and more. Under my sovereign protection, we will all win. And so King Maya ended his speech, while the ovation from the people was even greater. The guards have to intervene to calm the surroundings and prevent some fervent citizens from getting on stage to try to approach the king. They also began to disperse the crowd, inviting them to leave the place and head back to their homes. Only the select group that accompanied the king on stage remained on the scene after the army's performance. We too got ready to resume the trip, but soon 2 of Maya's guardians cut us off so that we wouldn't progress. I looked at the stage, and I recognized the soldier from the entrance who was speaking in the king's ear as he directed his look towards us. The soldier pronounced himself, "The Maya king wants to welcome you strangers. Accompany me until his presence." My parents exchanged their glances as I had seen them to do so many times. It was an accomplished glance, and it meant that they both had to be on alert. My mother took my brothers in her hands, so we all went to the stage where the king kept receiving compliments from his companions. He gestured for us to go up next to him, and with a big smile invited us to sit around him. First of all, welcome to the Rajasic Kingdom. It is an honor for me to receive the visit of people who are looking for new lands to improve their quality of life. But please tell me, where exactly do you come from? My father greeted King Maya with a bow and immediately replied, "Dear King Maya, we are pleasantly surprised by the beauty of your kingdom and the kindness of your sovereign. But we are not here to stay. We are just passing through. We need to arrive to the kingdom of Kali, because we have to fulfill the mission that our Queen Prema has commanded us." The king couldn't hide his disappointment by hearing the names of Prema and Kali, for his smile immediately disappeared to make way for a gesture of momentary concern, which he quickly disguised under a forced smile. "I have heard of the kingdom of Prema, which they say is the one with the most light in all the surroundings. But although this could be the case in the past, now Maya, my kingdom, stand out above all others with great difference. And as proof of this, it is in the contentment and veneration that the people of these lands parade me. So let's do one thing. I will welcome you at noon in my palace, and you will enjoy with me the precious and exclusive fruit of our kingdom. It is called Mithya. It is an exquisite red fruit that only grows in our lands, and that has magical properties. They bring to all those who take it everything they need or want, whatever it is: bravery, wealth, beauty, or power. Thought only I possess the seeds of this fruit, and its power is proportional to the amount of it taken. I could provide as much as you desire, but in return you will have to remain here under my command and devote your efforts to the cultivation of this fruit. Right away he then introduced us to the man who had accompanied him on the stage of the speech, and who drew my attention for the elegant clothes they wore. To my right the Count, and to my left the Duke. They both saw how their wealth and positions became greater and greater with the cultivation and intake of this fruit, and therefore today they enjoy a privileged place in my palace to my service. My little brothers were fascinated. "A magical fruit!" they constantly repeated while playing with each other. On the other hand, my parents maintained a serene attitude, and on this occasion it was my mother who spoke to King Maya. "Majesty, we will be delighted to accompany you to the palace this noon, but first we must rest a bit from the trip. The children are small and the walk has been arduous. Also, these are not clothes to enter your palace. Allow us to take a bath and put on something according to such a special occasion, for such magnificent company." The king smiled delighted. My mother's words, praising his greatness, seemed to immediately convince him that such a break was necessary in order to honor his presence. Maya, taking my mother's hand, said to my father, "Your wife is a great lady. I will be happy to send you two palace guards to fetch you within an hour, while enjoy your rest and our kind people." Thereafter he retired with his guards and his entourage in a stunning chariot, guided by a strange animal. It appeared to be a swan, but its color was black, and its neck, rather than being down like the common swan, it leaned upwards, as if it were a gesture of arrogance. When they got far away enough, my father broke the silence. "We've gained an hour of time to find out what lies behind this kingdom. Neither the king nor his subjects have been able to look us straight in the eye. This makes me at least suspicious of the light of this place."